Hey everybody, welcome back to the wild. It's Cypris. Hello, anybody tuning in new, welcome. What I have for you today is actually a really simple, I don't even want to call it a spell, a very simple ritual today. It's really more of just an animated wish, really. Nothing super involved. Do you need a good charm or ritual for travel? I was recently looking for a good spell or ritual for safe travel, for productive travel, and everything I found was pretty lacking as far as appropriateness for my particular trip, or it didn't jive. And I thought, I'm just gonna have to come up with my own. And so here we are. And got a real simple little thing for you. So today we're gonna talk about a very simple ritual for good travels. For those of you who missed my announcement, I am going to be traveling the Greek islands very shortly. And this isn't just a European pleasure cruise, although that would be a definitely worthy enough thing to do. This specific trip is about connecting with the divine with respect to the ancient Greek gods, and it should be a really amazing trip. But it's a big trip. I haven't made a lot of big trips in my life, and I was looking through the internet and books that I have looking for some kind of ritual for safe travel, for productive travel, successful travel, and I really didn't find anything that even approximated what I was looking for. So I have come up with a very simple little ritual, not much more than a wish really, and I want to share it with you, and I'm going to talk you through the structure of what I'm doing so that you can recreate your own personalized spell or ritual for safe travel. Does it sound like a good plan? Okay, so I've got a very simple altar set up. This is bare minimum because we really don't need much more than that. I've got a candle ready to go. I've got incense burning. I've got a driftwood wand here to, I've already established the circle. And the only other things on the altar are the items that invoke what I'm trying to get for this trip. So I'm going to walk you through those. So as I was saying, this trip is one that is not just a great vacation, but it's also a spiritual journey, a mindfulness journey, and I realized that I didn't just want to wish for safe travels. I have goals for this trip, and so I sat down and defined my goals, and I'm going to share those with you. And I would suggest that if you have a trip coming up and you want to put something out into the universe to have a safe trip, part of the problem for me is that I didn't just want to wish for a safe trip, and because the implication there is that you're asking for no harm to come. Well, what's the first thing the universe does when you think of something that you don't want? Right? It's the law of attraction. If you say, please, I don't want any trouble on this trip, you're sending trouble out there, and what you're going to get is trouble. And so I wanted to have concrete positive things to think about rather than have something to think about that I didn't want to happen. So I tried to think of ways to do this that would make it a not only safe but productive trip. So that's the first thing. And for each of my goals, I have 5 goals that I'm going to delineate here. And for each of my 5 goals, I have an item on the altar that corresponds with visualizing, manifesting that goal. So my thought is that you can take my outline for this ritual and totally tailor it to whatever kind of travel or trip or road trip or vacation that you might be going on. It's real simple to just come up with what you want and physical items that represent what you want and put it in a sacred space so that you can easily manifest. First and foremost, the trip is anchored around visiting sacred ancient sites and connecting with the divine. And that's why I chose this trip. It's exactly what I want to do. So the very first goal for me is finding that communion, the mindfulness, the meditation, the spiritual experience. This is what I do, this is important to me, and this is a really great chance to really connect with some famous and very ancient places for energy, whatever. I'm tripping over my words here. For communion, I chose This stone here, can you see her? I'll zoom in. So this stone right here, if you look at it, it kind of looks like a veiled figure, almost a female figure, maybe in a reclined seating position. And I found that on a beach, probably on the shores of Lake Superior. That's where I find most of my things from the water. To me, this looks like a female figurine, and so it's a no-brainer to use that as a figure for the sacred feminine, for the goddess. It just makes sense, right? A river or a lake stone that looks like a figure. So that's representing communion with the divine. And then the second goal I had, it's networking. I'm going to be traveling with 12 other women who are all on the same trip with me, and so I'm going to be meeting people who have things in common with me, and they're the kind of things that most people don't share. You know, not everybody is into the stuff that I'm into, specifically tracking down connection with ancient pagan deities. And I'm going to be in a group of people who are specifically down with that. So I'm really looking forward to the social aspect of this and making connections, making, dare I say, friendships, and seeing what kind of connectivity that I can generate with this opportunity. So to represent that, it's a little on the nose. I've got my business card here because that's emblematic of meeting people and exchanging information and making connection. It's super simple, but you know, if it works, why knock it? Goal 3, one of my great educational passions is antiquity. Studying the historic, the prehistoric, all of the ancient world I am fascinated by. To represent that, I have a map here of the, I would zoom in, but it's not very easy to see anyway, but it is a map of the Mediterranean, the Aegean Sea, basically. And so there's Crete here and Greece and a little bit of Turkey over here. If anybody is wondering or cares, I actually took it out of a book, a translation of the Odyssey, and this is a map delineating the land in which Odysseus was wandering. So that's where that came from. So in my passion for the ancient world, I'm going to be traveling to all these sacred sites. There's so much history and archaeology and architecture that still exists, some of it standing, and the mythology and the culture and just all the things that there are to learn about ancient cultures. And I'm going to be going to those physical spaces where all this stuff happened that I have spent years learning about. So that's going to be really cool. And so I think the map was an appropriate representation of that because it's the representation of the physical space that I'm interested in interacting with. Fourth goal, culture. Why do you travel the world? To go somewhere alien and experience it, to experience the people, to experience the way of life, the rhythm of the day, the food, the clothes, the layout of the cities and how they work, the architecture, the landscape, the modern landscape. That's all super exciting to me too. I don't get many chances to get out of my small little corner of the world, and I'm hoping in the future that's going to change, but this trip is a real breath of fresh air. I haven't been over to that part of the world in nine years, so it's been a long time. But yeah, just people people who are not Midwesterners, you know? Just getting out there and actually being part of the world. For culture, I chose a couple of apricots, and the reason that this is emblematic of culture, one, food, right? That's one of the most quintessential aspects of a culture is the food. But these particular apricots, I happened to notice on the package a few days ago, these actually come from Turkey, these apricots. So they actually are physically from the space, more or less, that I'm going to. So I thought these were perfect to represent the culture because food and actually that location. So I don't know, clever, stupid, but I like it. And my fifth goal is actually kind of global. It's a sort of just catch-all. It's along the lines of wanting a safe trip, but I've defined it a little more specifically than that. I've decided this is a really rare opportunity. I'm going to treat this like a quest. And it's spiritually focused anyway, and so I'm going on this journey just accepting that the whole thing is going to be magical realism. That's just how it's going to be. And just be open to that and not get in the way of the universe. Let it communicate with you as it will. I guess this is a pilgrimage for me. I'm traveling a long way and stopping at a whole bunch of sacred sites. So yeah, in order to represent the quest, what I have done is taken this. This is, I don't know what to call this, a necklace, a charm. This was the prime souvenir that you could buy. They weren't handing these out. This charm was created for the very first woman arising. Can you, there you can see it. For the first woman arising meditation retreat in Sedona, Arizona. It was about, I think, 7 years ago. And my partner in crime and I, you'll meet her, she's going to be going on the trip with me. We both got these because we wanted a physical memento of that trip, and that meditation retreat was a life-changing experience for us. We had a really great time, and it was about female empowerment and spiritual connection, and also Woman Arising is the organization through which the trip that we're going on got started. So there's an affiliation there. This charm is related in that it's the same organization basically that we're going with, but also because of the experience that this charm represents. Zoom in a little bit. So what I have done is I have taken this chain and wrapped it around these two stones, embracing, protecting in a circle around these two stones. And these are just two stones that I found in the woods up north in Upper Michigan at various camping trips. And I have these two stones here to represent the two travelers in my immediate party. So there's the two of us, and we are doing the physics of the quest, as it were. We're on a pilgrimage, and we're on the map. This is the land that we're going to, being looked over by the divine, and the networking opportunities and the cultural experience are right here on the map too. So 1 symbol per goal, 5 goals. It's a nice sexy number, and basically I'm just going to light this candle and sit with this every night until I depart. Kind of like making a wish on a birthday, right? You just sit and think about the positives that you want and let the candle burn about an hour each night for a week. This is I think it's an 7 or 8 day candle. And I actually can leave most of this altar just running while I'm gone. I'm gonna, of course, not leave the perishable items on here, and the amulet is actually going with me. But the rest I can just leave here, sitting anchored here, still working as I go off on the trip. So that's the plan. There you go. Really simple, but I think super effective in its simplicity and in the simple one-to-one correlation of visualizing what it is that you want and putting it in a sacred space to give it that weight of formality and that weight of manifesting it into being. You probably want to see me light the thing, right? Great Mother, Great Goddess, Milady, Queen of Heaven, I am grateful, I am grateful, I am grateful. I am so grateful for the opportunity that this trip has granted me. I am grateful for the opportunity to connect in new and maybe even deeper ways with the sacred. I am grateful for an opportunity to meet like-minded people. I am grateful to be able to physically experience the antiquity that I have been fascinated with for decades. I am grateful that I get to experience a new culture that I haven't before. And I am grateful to be going on a legitimate pilgrimage. How awesome is that? So in gratitude, I lay these things upon the altar of love, thy greatest gift. So mote it be, so mote it be, so mote it be. I am grateful, I am grateful, I am grateful. Or, you know, however you do. This, I think, can be easily tweaked to personalize for whatever faith path you have and for whatever your particular personal idiosyncratic ways of connecting with the divine, however those happen to unfold or manifest. So thank you for watching. Make sure if you want to see more of these that you hit the like button, and if you want to keep up with the trip and everything that's going on, or if you want more ritual videos, subscribe. That way you'll know where to find me. And if you want to make sure, if you're really into me, go ahead and hit the notification button so that you'll get notified every time I upload a video. Thank you. Love and light. I hope this was useful. I hope this was entertaining. I hope that you have your own great, fulfilling, satisfying, replenishing journeys, vacations, road trips, what have you. So, safe journeys as you venture into the wild. Keep it real. Always making an adventure. And I'll see you in the next video.